Jacques, can you hear me?
I can, Portia.
All right, thank you. Before we start, I see a few familiar names here. Evelyn, Tasmaya, Julian, welcome.
Thank you, Portia.
Right. Right, students, before we start tonight's lesson, please let me know or just tell me if there are any challenges with this module. Julian, do you have any challenges with this module? Melissa?
Portia, I think you. Portia, can you hear me? Portia, I can't hear you.
I also can't hear anything.
Right. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, Portia.
All right. Thank you. Right, students. Before we start, please enter your SIM number in the chat function.
Hi, Portia. I'm still unable to type in the chat. Could I please give you my student number?
All right. You can give it to me at the end of the session.
Okay, thank you.
Right, good. Students, before I start with tonight's session, please tell me, is there anything you have problems with regarding this module? Any challenges? Anything you're unsure of? Melissa, do you have any challenges with this problem, with this module?
Nothing specific, no.
All right, thank you. This Tasmaya.
No, Portia.
All right. Julian Tembelani.
No, Portia.
All right. And Ray Alfie, you're all good?
Yes.
All right, just a second while I upload tonight's presentation. Please tell me, is the presentation visible to you?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
So let's start with learning theories. All right. What is your understanding of learning theories? Or let me ask, how do you think, how does learning occur? Students, come, let's make this interactive. Right. What is your understanding of learning theories?
I think learning theory is a method which is used by teachers to facilitate teaching.
Right. Student, just a second. My sound is echoing this side. All right. Learning theories. Timberlani, can you just repeat that, please?
I think learning theory is the method which is used by teachers to facilitate teaching.
All right. Yes, you're on the right track. Julian, what do you think? Evelyn, Shawnee, would you like to add to that? Tasmaya, what do you think?
So I think a learning theory would be like how learners would receive and process and like retain the knowledge during the learning. So how they would basically take the learning.
Yes, thank you. Suzanne, what is your understanding of the learning theories? Anyone, please share with us.
I would say that it's the various theories that have developed over many, many years that lead to different perspectives on how to teach and how to learn.
Yes, thank you. Melissa, what do you think?
That was me.
Anyone else would like to add to that? Althea, what do you think?
Hello.
Good day.
Good day, ma'am.
You may go ahead, student.
I think it is the different ideas about how humans make meaning of new information and concepts.
All right, thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to give it a try? Right, let's continue. You can still see my screen, student? Martinez, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good. So, why do you think, why do we study learning theories? Why do you think, students, why do we study learning theories?
I think we study learning theories because it is the concept of how every individual will be interpreting what you are trying to teach them. And there's different styles of theory so that you know the best possible way to make the pupil understand what you're trying to convey to them.
All right, thank you. Yes. Anyone else like to add?
It's also a way of taking from what's been developed over time and taking the best out of everything to improve your own ability to teach and to get through to your learners.
Yes, correct. Is there any right or wrong way of doing it?
No, I think it depends on the circumstances and the class that you're in and your personality.
Definitely. Thank you. Anyone else? Timberlani, what do you think? Julian, would you like to add to that? All right. The reasons why we study learning theories, it's because it provides a basis, all right, to understand how the learners in your classroom or people in general, learn, and the way to explain and describe learning. All right. In a sense, a theory helps us to make more informed decisions, you as a teacher, around the design and the delivery of your learning. All right. Then also, there are different learning theories. As you know, behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me, students? Would you like to add, student?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. Mandisa speaking here.
Yes, Andy. So would you like to add to that?
Pardon?
Would you like to add to the theories?
So sorry, ma'am. I was just listening now because I was
Right.
still connecting. So yeah.
All right, then please mute yourself. All right. So that is a different theories. Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
learning theories, yes, learning theories also offers frameworks, all right, that will help
Yes.
you as a teacher how to use information or how information is used. All right.
Yes.
Also, how knowledge is created and how the learning takes place in your classroom. All right.
Yes.
So there is no best learning theory. All right. Why do I say that? Because each theory offers a different way to look at learning, like you've said. And when you use these theories, you must understand the theories first before you can incorporate it in your learning. Okay.
Yeah.
Different theories, the different theories that also provide the context of learning. All right. So what you all mentioned is correct in terms of why we study learning theories. Anyone else would like to add to this slide?
To add on why we are learning theories, ma'am.
Yes, correct.
I think since theories, they give you wanna gain more or of the knowledge, about the things that we are required to do in a class. Are
Right?
expected to do in. Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Sorry, ma'am. It was just an opinion,
Right. Students, just give me a moment because it's just echoing on my side.
Hello, man. Yeah, Chinchang. Oh,
Yes, Mandisa, good day.
good day,
Your hand is up.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to add on, on why we're learning theories, ne?
Yes.
I just wanted to add something. I think because the theories were being trained to gain more knowledge and develop some of the skills in sharing of the ideas to the learners.
Yes. Thank you, Mandisa.
And yes, ma'am.
Right. Anyone else would like to add? Students, tell me, do you also hear the echo?
No, I hear clear.
Is it all right? Then it's on my side. Thank you.
I do think that it could also be that it works better when the mics are on mute, and yeah, so presenting it normally helps if everybody else's mics is on mute.
Yeah, I can see all of you on mute. It's just Mandisa that's and your mic that's on at the moment. Right, let me just switch mine off quickly.
Must I switch mine as well, ma'am?
Yes, Mandisa, please mute yourself.
Must I switch mine as well, ma'am?
Yes, please mute yourself. All right. Let's continue. Anyone else would like to add to why we study learning theories? All right, students, you must also remember that the basic issue here is in the study of learning, okay? It concerns the process whereby learning occurs, active learning occurs. So let us quickly just distinguish between behavioral and cognitive theories. Right. What is your take on cognitive and behavioral theories? Let's start with behavioral theories, students. What is your idea of behavioral? Anyone? I think one of the students might. All right. Mandisa, your hand is up. Would you like to share your view on behavioral and cognitive theories? Amanda, what do you think? Melissa?
My understanding of behaviorism is that it's very much teacher-driven or educator-driven, and that there's reinforcement of positive behavior, of good behavior, and there's a response towards negative behavior. So it was very much almost like the old schooling system where the teacher stood in the front and was in charge, and then new theories started coming in, like cognitivism, where it became more learner-centered.
All right, thank you. Amanda, what do you think? Martinez, what is your take on behavioral and cognitive theories?
Yes, I agree with what the previous student said about behaviorism, and the cognitive process or theory is the formation of knowledge through the process of forming networks of concepts within the brain through different processes of scaffolding or through social interaction. Yeah, that's how I understand about it.
All right, thank you. You've mentioned scaffolding. Who is the theorist that made use of scaffolding? Students, who do you think is a student? Remember this theorist, he developed the ZPD. So which theorist made use of scaffolding? Anyone? Timberlani? Who do you think it was? Well, that was Vygotsky students. All right, so you can read up on Vygotsky. So with behaviorism, the focus on change is on behavior and responses. The teacher is very product orientated. All right. And there is a definite right and wrong with behaviorism. And the teacher will coach for the exams. Like, as Melissa said, repetition and drills of comprehension and understanding is constantly being done in the class. Okay? And with cognitive theories, all right? Cognitive theories is more process orientated. And here the teacher will focus on understanding what the learner understands and comprehend what the learner is able to comprehend. All right. By using this theory, it is more meaningful. Okay. It is also functional. And it also focuses on real life learning. All right. So we must remember that learning involves more than this thinking. It involves the whole personality of the person or the learner, all right? That will include senses, feelings, intuition, beliefs, values, and most of all, the will. willpower. All right. So why do I say that? I say that because learning needs to meet some personal need, all right, and recognizing and identifying the needs that enable us as teachers, all right, to evaluate whether the learning has been worthwhile and successful. So how do you think, how will we be able to determine whether it was worthwhile and successful? How will we be able to determine that, students? Martinez, what do you think?
Well, to determine whether the learning process was successful, first of all, you have to have specific goals or outcomes planned, and then through assessment, you determine whether it was successful or not.
Thank you, Martinez. Thank you. That's correct. Okay, we must assess the learners. Okay, we assess them regularly, whether it's formal or informal. When do you test learners informal? Is it at the end of the year or during the year, during a lesson? When do you do? Remember, this is not formal testing. It's informal testing. So when will you do that?
I want to say during a lesson. For example, homework. Marking the homework.
Yes, thank you. Correct. So informal assessments we can do during the lesson, after the lesson. And when will you do formal assessments? When do we assess learners formally? We test them informal last period. So when will we test them formally?
So that would be like your June exams or your November final exams.
Yes, thank you. We will assess them formally at the end of each term. So let's move over to behavioral theories quickly. With behavioral theory, students, like we already said, we view learning as a change or form of behavior or response. Right? This normally occurs as a function of environmental factors. All right. Through this type of learning theory, we observe the learners, observe the environment. All right. So with cognitive theories, stress the learning of knowledge and skills again, together with the mental process and the processing of the information. Right? Behavioral theory has to do with how learners respond within certain environment, and cognitive theories has to do with the learning of new knowledge, the mental process, and how the learners process information. Anyone would like to add to that? All right. Anyone like to add to that? Martinez Althea, Ray? Tasmaya?
And nothing to add from my side.
All right. Thank you, Tasmaya.
I agree, Portia.
All right. Thank you, Evelyn, Suzanne, Melissa.
I just have a question. Is constructivism linked to cognitivism, or are they two totally separate theories? Because those do seem to flow quite, or they seem quite similar to me.
Yes, they're similar to each other, but they're both a theory on their own. Does that answer your question, Sarah?
Yeah, but in what way? I mean, constructivism, if you speak about cognitivism and the whole scaffolding, then to me that seems very similar to what constructivism is also about. So how do they differ? Because it doesn't seem as though this particular module really focuses much outside of cognitivism.
Not. Yes.
From what I've seen, but yeah, so I can't get a real grip of what the difference is between them.
All right, we'll get to that later on.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else would like to add? Students, can we just break for 5 minutes, please? So I can sort out my sound and be back here at, let's say, 6:15. Well, let's just take a coffee break quickly. Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm not sure. Maybe make use of earphones or a headset that usually helps with cancelling out echo stuff. I hope that
You
helps.
have a headset and it's not working.
Oh, goodness.
All right, let me just check out quickly. All right, thank you.
Ma'am, I'm unsure if this is your microphone doing this, but it sounds like you are in a washing machine.
Students, can you Melissa, can
I can't hear you well at all.
right. Can you hear me?
It's garbled.
Right. Can you hear me, students? Melissa, can
Yes, we can.
right. Thank you.
It's not clear though.
Is it better now?
Much bit, a little bit, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Miss Esther, please your camera. Camera. Miss Esther, please switch to camera. Thank you. All right. Can you? All right. So there are some factors that influence learning. Is there any that you can think, students?
I'm sorry, Portia, your voice is coming and going.
All right. We're so sorry about that. Is this better?
Portia, can you hear?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, it is better for me.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
it just faded for some time, Portia, but
Oh.
we can hear you now.
Thank you, Joe. So there's some factors that influence learning. Is there any factors that you can think of, student? All right, remember, both the behavioral and cognitive theories, right? They agree that the differences between learners and in the environment can affect learning. So what influence can you think of that will affect or influence it? Melissa, you mentioned earlier prior reinforcement. So what factors do you think will influence it? Martinez?
Yes, ma'am. The sound is not great, so hopefully everybody can hear me. But there are many factors that influence learning, whether it is the context of the learner, i.e. the cultural background or the social background, or whether it is something as simple as what is the language of learning and teaching versus that learner's home language, the cognitive or other development levels of learners, the development teaching level of the teacher. There are multiple factors that influences learners, and each learner has got his own individual strengths and weaknesses and ways of learning. So multiple factors.
All right. Thank you, Martinez. Melissa, would you like to add to that?
Only to add that maybe also things like ADHD, or if the person has certain mental barriers to learning, that's also factors that influence.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Tasmaya, what do you think? Anyone else would like to add to the factors that influence learning?
Portia, I was on mute. I agree with what the other student mentioned. I don't have anything to add yet. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
I think I would like to add, I do agree with the other two students, but perhaps the teacher's personality, the way you present the lesson, environmental factors, mental factors, intellectual factors on how, like, what is the individual's mental level. So yeah, I think that's what I would like to add.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Timbalani?
I believe even prior knowledge that you obtain from the from other things. Prior knowledge can be the one.
Please repeat that again.
I think prior knowledge also affects learning.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Julian, what do you think? Althea, would you like to add to that? Like Martina said, there's a lot of influence or factors that can influence learning.
I think that definitely emotional things could also influence learning, and also the background of the learner, the type of home the learner is coming from, the area the learner comes from, the social influences as well could also influence the learning.
Yes, correct. Suzanne, what do you think? Evelyn? Shanae, please add with us your idea. Right. Tasmaya, what do you think?
Even something like the weather could play a role in.
I think the classroom environment.
Student, can you repeat that, please? Yes. All right. If you look at prior reinforcement history, all right, that normally has to do with what the individual or the learner was reinforced with in the past, all right, with it in grade R, primary school, and secondary school. So this is what the RENA was enforced with in the past for performing, all right, the same or similar behavior. Now, if we look at developmental status, all right, I've listed there. Okay, this has to do again with the learner's capability of doing things on his own, all right, has to do with the learner's physical and mental development, all right. We as teachers, you know that you work with a variety of learners. And learners have different barriers to learning, all right? So it is important for us then to take note that, let's say, mental limitations that will hinder learning, all right? As well as physical disabilities, all right? May also be a problem, or let me say, it may preclude acquisition of motor behaviors, right? So the prior reinforcement of history, and developmental status will have an influence on their learning. So let's move on to the different theories quickly. There's just a few of the theories that we can make use of in our classroom. Okay, that's the behaviorist theory, the cognitive theory, constructivist theory. Sorry, students, I say I've cognitive theory twice, so we'll discuss behaviorist theory, cognitive theory, and constructivist theory. So what is your understanding? Remember we said right in the beginning that the behaviorism, all right, here the teacher is product orientated, and there's a definite wrong or right? The teacher coach the learners for exam purpose. Repetition, we make use of repetition for comprehension and understand, right? So what is your understanding now of behaviorist theory? Martinez, what is your understanding now of behaviorist theory?
According to, or I understand it, that learning is guided through the behavior of the teacher with regards to positive reinforcement for that which the teacher believes is to be deemed to be good, and negative reinforcement or extension of that what is deemed not to be good, i.e. it's not the learner themselves do not construct their own opinion. Their opinion or concepts are forced upon them, and how the knowledge, the learning is perceived by the teacher is whether the learner then behaves in the expected manner.
Right, thank you. Anyone else would like to add? Tembelani? Suzanne, would you like to add to? Yes, student, would you like to add? Melissa, would you like to add to that? Anyone else like to add? Does Maya? All right. So let me just give you a few.
No, thank you, Portia.
All right. So you're good with this?
Yes, all good.
All right. So let me just give you a few examples and applications of the behaviorist learning theory. Okay. We as teachers do this in class when we drill the learners, we do rote work with them, we do repetitive practices. All right. And we can also make use of verbal reinforcement. We make use of this theory. So tell me, how will you use this theory in your classroom? Anyone, how will you make use of it? All right, let me give you an idea.
So when
Yes. Yes, student?
So when you basically when you'd use repetitive learning or drilling would be when you teaching a student or teaching learners new concepts or new lesson topics.
Yes, but where do you normally use it? In what subject?
Maybe subjects like mathematics or science where there's fundamentals that learners have to know and have to be able to perform quickly and repetitively.
Yes, correct. We do it mostly with mathematics. All right, where we do route counting and multiplication tables. So I will do it in class. If I have a learner in class that has ADHD, or let's say that have a low attention span, all right, then I will praise the learner when he completes tasks in a specific time frame. All right, and that is called positive reinforcement or positive rewards. We can also do it negatively in the classroom. All right. This is when we want to increase the, the number of learners, all right, who hands in the homework, and you as a teacher wanted all of them to complete the assignment or the homework for that day. But as you know what we work with diverse group of learners in our classroom, so that can be a form of negative punishment or reinforcement. Right. So that is how we make use of behaviorist theory in our classroom. Now let's just look at cognitive theory. All right. What is your understanding of cognitive theory? This is where the theorist, Piaget comes. So what is your idea of cognitive theory? Anyone? Remember, this theory is based on, it is based on the idea, all right, that humans process information that they receive instead of thinking about what is happening. So what is your understanding of cognitive theory? Yes, student, I'm listening.
Yeah, it's the making making sense of new information through the process of assimilation, where new information is either linked to existing cognitive networks, or new networks are created, or existing networks are adapted, and that as we go through different stages of cognitive development, through the different stages of our lives.
All right, thank you. Anyone would like to add to that? Tasmaya, would you like to add?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. Evelyn, Melissa? Timbalani, Juliet? What is your understanding of cognitive theory?
I would
Yes.
say it refers to the the, the process of or the stages of a human beings, how they develop information, and at the different ages and stages in their lives.
All right. Thank you. Do you think the learners plays an active role in this cognitive theory?
I would say that they do play an active role in indicating to the teacher on what level they are, and this way the teacher, and in return, knows how to plan and prepare lesson for the learner's developmental level.
Right, yes. So tell me, when you do your planning, do you only plan for a specific group in your class, or do you take into consideration all of the learners in your class with the various learning barriers?
Yeah, you do take into consideration the various learners with the different learning barriers.
All right. Thank you. So when you give them activities, will all the learner activities will be on the same level?
I would say learner
No.
activities will not be
You
on the
cater for different learners.
yeah, that was that yeah, you cater for the different developmental levels.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else would like to add? Yes, you will cater for all the learners when you do your planning and the activities. You will also consider all the learners in your classroom. Now we've done behaviors and cognitive theory. Let's move on to constructivist theory. What is your understanding of constructivist theory? Melissa, what do you think?
I think that's the theory where the learner really takes control of their own learning, and where the scaffolding of tasks is such as an important part in getting learners individually up to the level that they should be at.
All right, thank you. Tembelani, what do you think? Okay, here learning is based on how the learner interprets and creates the meaning of his or her own experiences. Right. Julian, would you like to add to that?
Pusha, could you
Suzanne?
please repeat?
Evelyn? Tasmaya, would you like to add?
No, Pusha, but I want you to just repeat what you've said, please.
All right. Constructivism, okay? Learning here is based on how the learner interprets, understands, and creates meaning to his or her own experiences. But here the learner tried to make meaning of what is learned based on its experience.
Portia, can one also add that with constructivism, the learner is not memorizing the whatever it is, it's coming from the learner, how they see it, how they interpret it. But it's not memorized, or it's not basically what the teacher might want to hear. There's nothing like that. It depends entirely on what the learner's experience was for them, and every learner will have a different answer, for example. Am I right in saying that? Have I got the right understanding?
Yes, remember learning. Learning is unique and it's different for everyone in your classroom. All right. So here the learners construct the knowledge. Okay. In different ways of how they experiences and the perceptions of it. All right. So each learner is unique and different, and it is how the learner interpret what is learned through his experiences and perceptions. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you, 100%.
Portia, can I just ask something?
Yes, you may do that.
As far as I also understand with regards to this theory is that the teacher or as a partner or a collaborator in learning is still very important, as that without that teacher's involvement, the learner won't necessarily go from what they know to what what the teacher wants them to know. So although it is how they perceive through their own experience, there's still the teacher mediating from, where the where the learner are to where they want them to go to. With regards to, and that's how I also understand scaffolding, which is part of the theory.
Yes, of course. With all these theories, the teacher will always be acknowledged. All right. Teachers always the one to lead the learners, to guide, and to help the learners. Does that answer your questions, Martinez?
Yes, thank you. Just wanted
All
clarity
right.
on that.
Anyone else have a question? I just want to give you a few examples, all right, and applications when we make use of constructivism in our classroom. We will give the learners case studies, all right. You will hand out research projects. Brainstorming is part of it. And like Martina said, collaborative learning and group work is important. And then we will also allow them to discover learning with constructivism. Right? Anyone would like to add anything to that? Any questions for me? Melissa Tembalani, Suzanne, do you have questions? Kazmaya, Ms. Jefter, do you have questions? Althea Ray, do you have a question for me? All right. Then I'd like to say thank you and no significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. All right. Let's just go through your course notes quickly and see where you have some challenges. And we can discuss it in our next class. Tell me, are you all clear on the teaching philosophies? Anyone have a problem with that? Raise your hand. Do you have any challenges with lesson planning, students? All right, I see one hand. Is there more? 3 hands. Lesson planning, 4 hands. All right. And teaching philosophies. Right. How did you find assignment 4, Liz? Melissa, did you complete assignment 4? Did you have any problems with
Sorry, I never heard which assignment you asked about.
assignment 4?
What was assignment 4? It's the first I hear of that.
Is it? All
Yeah.
right, I see that was a lesson plan, assessment rubric.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Martinez? So not too sure, listen.
I'm sorry, I'm also now confused.
Is it? All right.
Let me just have a look.
Okay.
No, I only have up to assignment 3, so sorry.
All right.
No,
All right.
no, not aware of assignment 4.
Okay.
It was question 4 in assignment 3.
Yeah. That,
Yeah, so yeah, no, that was fine, no problem.
all right. Let me just go through this. You clued up with the roles of the teacher? Anyone have problems with that? Or difficulty? Raise your hand. All right. And the curriculum policy?
Could you please repeat?
Excuse me, Tasmaya, can you repeat? Do any of you have challenges with the curriculum policy? Mandisa, you good with the policy, the curriculum policy? All right. Okay. And you all know how to set up a learning program, planning and caps? Raise your hand if you have problems or difficulty with it.
Ma'am, is it possible
Yes.
if we could ask you nearer to the exam for any questions we have?
Yes, we can discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
Right. All right. So then you can prepare for next week that we can go through the curriculum and learning programs. Right. So next week, Thursday is our next class. Same time and same place. Eh? Students, before you leave, please make sure you type your student number in the chat function. And please complete the feedback form. Yes, Tasmaya?
Can I please give you my student number?
Yes, you may do that.
It's 59
59
75
75
1592.
1592. We'll enter it now. Anyone else have a problem to enter the student number? You can give it to me. Then thank you very much for joining me tonight, students. Next week, same time, same place, Thursday evening. Thank you
Portia,
and have a good night. Yes.
Portia, where can I find the feedback form? I can't see it.
All right. Just have a look for you. Okay. I didn't see it, so don't worry about it. Just enter your student number for now, please. Thank you.
I think Jock put it in the chat. If you go to the chat, then the feedback.
Is it in the chat? Because I can't see it.
Yeah, Jock.
Sorry, ma'am, can I also give you my student number, please?
Is it Nomfundo?
Yes, I am Nomfundo, but I can't
Yes.
see that.
What's happening? What was alone?
Can you see it in the chat?
Portia, you're looking for the evaluation form?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, I did put it in the chat.
Right, students, you can find the evaluation form in the chat.
57, I posted it.
All right, thank you.
So can I also give you my student number, ma'am?
Yes, you may, Mandesa.
Yeah, it's 67
67
99
99
8895.
895. Thank you.
And I also have got a problem on the reflective journal, ma'am. I don't understand it.
Reflective.
Reflective journal on assignment of 3.
Put that in the chat for me, please.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Right.
Kasmaya, do you have a question?
No, thank you.
Oh, because your hand is up, so. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Portia, have you muted yourself?
Yes, sure.
Have you muted yourself? Because I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, right. Thank you. Students, after you completed the evaluation form, you may leave the session, and I'll see you next week. Have a good evening.
Which evaluation form, ma'am?
You too. Thank you, Portia.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasures.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
I want to ask which evaluation form? I can't see it.
It's in the chat. Jacques posted it 2-7.
Can I help? It is under if you go to the chats, then you will see there is a chat that is written book a one-on-one session with your facilitator. Then if you click there on the space that says see more, then at the bottom you will find the final feedback form. I find it there.
All right. Thank you. Now the one-on-one session, that form. It's a book of one-on-one session with me. Eh?
Yes, but if you click on see more on that one chat, then if you click there at the bottom under that facilitator there, then if you click see more, then it says that the student should fill in the evaluation form. Then at the bottom there it says final feedback form. Then if you click on it, then it will show you.
Thank you for that. Hi, Stacey. Your camera is on.